speaker, and then here's the glance about her academic history. Ibu Winda Satyasari has a doctoral degree in University of Salford, Greater Manchester, focusing on English literatures and creative writing. This is in Manchester, United Kingdom. And then for the master degree in Gajah Mada University, American Studies and American Literatures in Yogyakarta. And then for the undergraduate in Andalas University Padang, English Literatures and English Department, West Sumatra, Indonesia. And then for the employment, now Ibu Winda is working in Medan, North Sumatra, Indonesia. The lectures at English Literatures, English Department, Faculty of Language and Art, State University of Medan. And then she also experiences lectures at the English Department, Faculty of Language and Art, Padang, State University of Padang. Okay, right then, she has already joined any workshop and seminar, either for participants and also for speakers. And then here also many lists of books and journal and unpublished paper, especially for in publications. Ibu Winda has already created the Mother and Daughters in Matrilineal Society in 2016, and then Stepping Out of Culture's Boundary and Analysis of Cathy Song's second poetry collections in 2019, and Rainchester Kisah Perempuan Tangguh di Kota Manchester 2018, and then Heart Talk Anthology Poetry, and also facilitating novice writer with creative writing workshop and poetry writing classroom. And the last one, this is the new one, I think, analyzing error in these writings. Should grammar be an issue in English academic writing for students of English college? So here, and then Ibu Winda has strong argumentations on how doing research regarding to the digital literatures, including poetry, because it is becoming her concerns in this in her expertise. And then also for today, Ibu Winda will share with us about the creative writing in relations to academic writing. So we will learn more about how that the combinations of the academic writing and also the creative writing combine into one, because as we know, maybe, yeah, the academic writing is mostly on journal publications, is research based. But when we talk about the creative writings, is merely on fictional work and this kinds of thing. So without further ado, I would like to please Ibu Winda Satyasari, PhD, to present the ideas of the creative writing for undergraduate level space to explore. Ibu Winda, you have time for about 30 minutes and 20 minutes for presentations, and the rest 10 minutes is for the workshop for the participant. Okay, without further ado, Ibu Winda, microphone is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Buida, and the rest of the audience?
Yes,
can you hear me,
Ibu
right?
Winda.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, Bismillah. Can you just share my PowerPoint, Buida? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
is it
my
already?
connection is unstable this morning. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. Sudah muncul ya, Ibu?
Ya, sudah muncul.
Okay.
So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to express my, deepest gratitude to Allah for, making me stay, bless us with the health and prosperity, so we can be here this morning. And you know what? Another thank you to Bu Hasnul for inviting me third time in this forum, and I felt like the UIN has become my second home.
Amen.
Yeah. But I'm not moving there. And then thank you, Buida, and all the participants for joining this seminar. Yeah. So just without further ado, just go straight to the my presentation. I'm trying my best to to bring you in very efficient way to introducing you to creative writing. Okay. Thank you, Buida. The first slide, please. Yes. So
okay.
Let me just introduce some points to you. Students need the opportunity to practice writing in a variety of genre, everybody. Yeah. So other than the dominant form of academic essay, I know it really well. Bu Hasnul is, you know, the god of the creative, oh no, critical theory. Yeah. You know, she's been forcing students to create critical essay. And we have been really busy, everybody, with, you know, developing, encouraging students to write critical, analytic, and interpretive essay. We have been, you know, so much determined to push students to write critical essay, short explication on one poem, yeah, an analysis of novel based on psychological approach, yeah. And we've been, you know, so eager to lock the theory of literature in their mind, you know, for them to integrate it in critical essay. But I would like to emphasize here one point in my introductory, everybody, that creative writing is regarded as an instrument for sharpening the students' reading of literature. So direct engagement with the writing process will enable students to gain insight. So creative writing has been, you know, thought as a marginal study. It has not yet integrated into the curriculum of English department in most universities in Indonesia, even in my university. So when Bu Hasnul invited me to talk about this and to talk about it, and I, you know, just spontaneously say, yes, I would love to. And, you know, the direct engagement with the creative process, yeah, will, you know, make students become more skilled as reader and as well as writers. Okay, so this is my hypothesis, and this is my introductory point, everybody. And the inability of some of the head of English department students, including Bu Hasnul, to integrate the creative writing courses with the critical literary analysis courses, yeah, you know, made the students situated, you know, in a distance with the creative writing itself, yeah. And one more, you know, triggering point, yeah, that we need to, you know, think that another important creative writing, yeah, aspect is, yeah, it could be linked to the increased recognitions of the creative industries. Yeah, so I would like to underline this point, everybody. By learning creative writing, when your students are graduated from university, yeah, they have enough experience, yeah, doing creative writing in creative industries. Yeah, so they own it, yeah, mereka punya modal gitu. But this is, you know, an ignorance of Indonesian English department curriculum so far. But today I would like just, you know, to say to you that creative writing is important. Bu Ida, next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So this presentation will bring about the issues of creative writing in the undergraduate level. So this presentation will attempt to answer 3 different kind of questions. What is creative writing? How is creative writing practiced as a research in the undergraduate level? And what are some possible topic and methodology for thesis on creative writing? So can you imagine that this is not creative writing that you may find on internet online? Ada pelatihan menulis novel tuh. Ada pelatihan menulis puisi. This is not what you think about. This is about how you blend critical study of literature with the creative writing. Buida, next. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
And everybody, it is a bit explanations about creative industries. Yeah. Next slide, Ida. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Probably before. No. Yeah. Next slide. Yes. What is creative writing? So it is any writing that falls outside the technical, journalistic, or academic study. Yeah, you can think of film, you can think television script as a creative writing. You can think of song as creative writing, everybody, especially you students. You can think poetry, plays, and even fictionist. This is a current study that favored by some of the undergraduate students in the most university in Australia and United Kingdom. Yeah, how you make use of pictures and pictorials, editors, yeah, to write about creative writings. And it is also about personal essay, memoir, journal and diaries and letters. I know Bu Hasnu, yeah, is starting her first memoir.
Amin.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Next book, Ida.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. So creative writing research begin with some basic notion, everybody. What do you know? Yeah, what do you know? What do we not know but would like to find out? Yeah. And what issues of differentiation arise? Is it dealing with the cultural matter? Is it dealing with historical matter? Is it dealing with textual matter? And it is dealing with individual matter? Okay, in my literary not in literary translation class, in my literary criticism classes, I suggest my students, yeah, to create new text against Cinderella. So they're trying to create, yeah, Cinderella text based on deconstruction theory. And it is new text. Okay, so creative writing provides you so many opportunities to explore not only in technical writing but also in the literary theory matter. Okay, so what methods are there to make discoveries? Okay, maybe this is just a glance of it. Next, Wida. Yeah, ke bawah. Ini dia. Creative writing is, you know, a big thing, yeah. But it can include, yeah. So what makes it possible for the undergraduate level is, yeah, you are dealing with the drafting, redrafting, revising, and editing. Okay, jadi ketika students decide, who knows, ini kalau jualan saya laku berarti mungkin nanti 1 tahun atau 2 tahun ke depan ada yang memilih creative writing as a thesis writing, kemudian he choose to write about his own story, and he wrote 10 poems for his final project. And creative writing research provide you the space to draft, to redraft, and to revise and to edit. Yeah, this is also about reading, note taking, annotating, graphically depicting, doodles, sketches, and charts. Ini kalau saya lagi di UK itu saya banyak belajar dari anak-anak S1. Final projectnya apa? They were writing doodles. They were writing sketches and charts blended with their short novel. And this is writing, and their project, were, new for me. Wow, they can do that. Why not my students? Okay, so it is also dealing with investigation relating to place involving degree of travel observation, action, research. It perhaps, yeah, goes to the postgraduate students. Yeah, I don't suggest you doing this, but the first and the second one you can apply. Yeah, this kind of creative writing research. Yeah, as a final project. And fourth, sociologically focused research employing interview or mode of group or individual observing or surveying. This is also working for master degrees, I think, yeah. And I don't suggest you to try this. But the first and the second and the fifth, aspect can be done by undergraduate level. And the fifth is modeling involving consideration of other creative works. So you are reading, a classical poems written by William Wordsworth, or you are reading a post-colonial literature, poetry, and you are your considerations of other creative writers' work, and you speculate about the technique or writerly decision making. And then by relying on the models of these poets, then you can write and you can decide your own model. Then it needs also the process. Okay, so creative writing research in undergraduate level, open up a space for you to do the research. By doing this kind of thing. Thank you, Bu Ida. Next. Capek ya, Bu Ida. Saya takutnya ini karena saya di sekolah. Yes, okay. Ya, ini dia.
It's okay, Bu Winda.
Yes. Nah, ini lebih simple, students. And untuk dosen-dosen yang juga kebetulan bergabung pagi ini agak ke bawah sedikit, Bu Ida. Ya. Jadi yang penting di dalam yang tadi Bu Ida dulu. Yes, yang tadi dulu.
Oke, wait.
Nah, itu dia ke bawah lagi Bu Ida. Yes, dah itu dia. So I'm trying to to formulate what happened. Some theories, Harper's theories about creative writing. So it is the combinations of the act and the action. And when it, when both aspects blend together, then the goal is to process and to product. Jadi tidak mungkin kemudian anak-anak yang mengambil creative writing as a thesis writing tidak mungkin berproses. It's quite impossible for them to to go on with their journey, if they don't, if they don't need a process, So the emphasis, according to the Harper, it is not the process. It is not the final product. It is the process that will create the knowledge. So it is to process and to product, and the actions of writing, the actions of critical reading. Produce a body of writing. Okay, itu dia. Bu Ida, next. Thank you. Nah, ini dia. Mungkin nanti Pak Sapadi bisa menambahkan. Ma'am, so Bu Winda, kalau ini baru, if it is new for our department, so what can we do about this? So you can't, set two different kind of writings, paper or monographed. So ini kira-kira bentuk nanti dari creative writing paper final project, skripsinya anak-anak S1. Jadi seperti ini juga ya skripsi anak-anak S1 yang membahas karya sastra. So in your introduction, you will just, start with your argument, with your background, with your purpose. And we have the methodology, models for practice-based research, models for creative practice, and models for critical theory. Dan di chapter 3, kemudian siswa bisa mencantumkan karya-karya mereka yang sudah mereka sebut di introduction and the methodology. So analysis of my creative practice, and in this chapter 3, siswa juga akan menceritakan the process in a form of reflective statement. So the result of the research and the analysis of my creative practice, the process and the artifact. Jadi dalam melakukan in conducting research in creative writing, process and the product cannot be separated, everybody. And for the final chapter, your student can discuss and conclude, about his paper or his monograph. Okay, and the role of the lectures here, of course, as a supervisor, and you may also be a contributor, and in checking their draft, or you can find a validator, from other university who knows better about your students' topic. Jadi Ibu Bapak juga bisa mencari validator untuk karya-karya mahasiswa ini, gitu. So in order to, to accomplish such a kind of a robust research, Okay, itu dia kira-kira bentuk dari final paper mahasiswa nanti yang membahas, yang decide to do the creative writing as a final project. Next, Wida.
Okay.
Yes. Nah, ini dia yang paling penting. I did it in my class, and I was thinking about it for a few years ago, and I did it in my class 2 years ago, and I think that it was really successful. A drama translation as a creative writing in a second language. So your students may choose 1 or 2 traditional drama. So, and they, will, engage with some reading materials, with some theory of literary translation. And they engage with the, the writings of translation. They, will have experience of making decision what to translate and what not to translate. Okay, si Mardan, saya memilih cerita ini karena anak-anak sangat familiar. They are very familiar with this traditional play. And I was giving them some theories about a second language creative writing in a post-colonial literature perspective. How you translate drama, without forgetting your identity. How you make this local drama into a global work. So they are, proceed in, decision making, in a creative reading, and finally produced the drama translation. Along the way, they meet me, as a supervisor to edit, and to rewrite and to finalize. Okay, this is one of the possible topic ya. Dan sebenarnya impian saya juga begini gitu. Kenapa tidak daripada kemudian mereka only focus on literary critic? Why not creating their own drama translation? Next, Bu Ida. Ya, ini dia. Jadi creative writing and critical reading cannot be separated. If you decide on, asking your students to write on this project. Nah, from the cases of Simardan, kemudian satu semester itu, I was asking them to, to discuss about translation study, L1 to L2, to discuss about second language learning, and to discuss about creative writing pedagogy, exploring post-colonial literature, emphasizing on local color. And at the end of the semester, they produced a drama translation. So why not doing this on the final project? Okay. Next, Wida.
Okay.
And the this is the gold. Jadi skrip itu apa jadinya? Jadi kemudian skrip yang sudah ditranslasikan dengan berbagai proses itu jadinya apa, Mem? It is a product of learning and creative practice. It reflects students' perspective. They are so familiar to the socio-cultural context, and they produced it in English, and they're not forgetting their Batak identities. Of course, negotiations were there. Everybody were in the process. Identity negotiation. Saya ingin seperti ini nih, harus seperti Inggris banget, Mem. Tapi saya harus meninggalkan kata-kata ini, Mem. Karena ini terkesan eksotik maksudnya, mungkin. So negotiation is in the, the process of the production. And this is really interesting if we got students doing this. Okay. Next, Ibu Ida.
Yeah.
Apakah saya masih berapa menit lagi? Saya masih cepet-cepet ini. Iya. Yeah, ini dia. This is based on my recent research. Yeah, I was doing it last month. Yeah, and I was asking my students to, explore Minang tradition because I'm from Minang. Yeah, and I use haiku. Yeah, to express Minang culture. Yeah. So what can we do about this kind of a poem, Mem Winda? Jadi dari drama translation ini juga possible topic. Yeah. Itu prosesnya apa gitu? Creative reading of traditional cultures and form of poetry. Jadi siswa mungkin diberi ini dulu gitu ya. And second language creative writing in post-colonial perspective. I hope for students to produce the storyline, a book of haiku based on the family tradition, based on the Minang tradition which occur in their family tradition. Bu Ida mungkin ke bawah. Iya, kita lihat satu contohnya. Yes, ini dia. So, saya perkenalkan mahasiswa dengan kata-kata songket. Kemudian saya menyuruh jika ada any students was born in a Minang family, ternyata ada gitu. So what songket means for you? Yeah, and the following week they come, or she comes with haikus, with 10 haikus, yeah, representing her family tradition. Yeah, so the weaving machine, women and the tradition, history remains. Ya, jadi haiku kan adalah puisi yang 575 itu. And lay across her chest piece of silk with golden thread and intricate lines. Ya. Ketika mereka bicara tentang tradisi di keluarga, ide itu mengalir begitu saja. Dan haiku ini sudah mengalami 2 proses revisi dari saya. Ada yang masalahnya they can't fit in the syllable, nggak cukup syllable-nya, suku katanya gitu ya. Okay, so they can do this. They can create a storyline based on the haiku. Ya, jadi jangan khawatir kalau itu nanti kita meniru orang bule, mem. No, you can write in English. You can think locally, but you can write globally. Okay, yang terakhir mungkin Bu Ida.
Okay.
Yes. Ya. Ke bawah mungkin. Nah, ini dia conclusion saya. So creative writing enhance the ability to think deeply and analyze critically. So it simultaneously blend technical writing with creative side and creative writing in a second language. So it open up a space to explore new ways of writing in a second language. Yeah, I'm sorry I forgot to mention classroom instruction. Tapi to introduce students with creative writing as writing a thesis, yeah, we need to establish a very good classroom instruction. Jadi prior to their final project, mungkin Bu Hasnul nanti akan membuat beberapa mata kuliah, ya, that can accommodate this kind of practice, ya. Oke, itu dia, Ibu Ida. Mungkin di 5 menit terakhir saya mencoba mengajak anak-anak di sini, atau ibu bapak juga boleh gitu ya, ke bawah Bu Ida. Yes.
Oke, saya boleh stop screen, Bu?
Iya. Oke, saya coba share
Ya,
screen
Bu,
punya
Bu
saya
Ida,
ya
sorry.
sebentar. Iya. Mungkin ini. Tapi semoga ininya ketemu nggak?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. Yes. Yeah. I'm just, showing you what can we do in a classroom and what can, we continue it with this project. Yeah. And I'm trying to write or to what we call it, to encourage you to write the storyline based on your autobiography. Yeah, so you choose the strategy, you modeled, and you find some readings, yeah, some poems, yeah, or written by other creative writers. Yeah, you try to collect the readings, yeah, dealing with autobiography by using poetry as a data of research and theories of poetry, setting, voices, and character. And you do the practice through the process. And finally, you produce the creative work and blending it with the reflective statement. Yeah, what have you done? What is your most challenging point? But what is your strength? Ya, itu bisa Anda tulis nanti di final projectnya. Oke. Saya punya satu puisi untuk memulai workshop 5 menit saja, ya. Di sini puisi ini kemudian pernah saya praktekkan di salah satu kelas dengan menghapus beberapa elements dan they recreate the the patterns and the form based on their own story. So I come from a territory where we cannot distinguish people from sunrise. So many beauties by the rice paddies and river flow. I grew up in a city where mother and daughters are the only queen and servant in their own kingdom. They steer tradition and legacy. I lived in a house where memory remained quiet. The house never had its own remedy to break the chain of diabetes heritage. Yeah, I'm talking about my personal history, everybody. I used to labor myself through the art of my second language in an urban place where boys and girls learned how to pronounce love and loved. I might have traveled to the unknown countries where I envisioned the ankless refugees smell the breath and the wanted anima. And I settled in a corner of the world where poetry subjugate breast meal and midnight kisses. My children dine from the menu of symbol and imaginist. Okay. I read this poem with my students. Then I start, to conduct a workshop by eliminating, most of the lines in the poetry, and I left, the topic for each stanzas. So when I delayed it, I asked my students to complete it. I come from a territory, and you may change it. I came from a region, or I come from a secret land. Ya, nah pagi ini saya mau mengundang mahasiswa Bu Hasmu, untuk melengkapi storyline saya. Okay. Ada mahasiswa kan Bu Hasnul di sini?
Yes, come on,
Yes.
guys. Show that you are, creative.
Yeah. So think about your storyline. Yeah. What is the
Start
most
now, please,
important?
students.
Nah, just one workshop for me. Come on.
Dapat nilai A siapa yang finish.
Is it? Oh, you are blessed then.
Leave them about 3 minutes.
3 minutes. If nobody, ini pagi-pagi ini buasmu.
Yeah.
Salah transfer.
Ya.
Salah tadi, salah orang.
Kira-kira begitu. Ada yang mau to complete one paragraph, or you may think about your house. Oh, I lived in a house. No?
Okay, just invite participants randomly, Bu Winda.
Yes, okay. Participant, you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, complete my storyline. Who wants to try? Give it a try, Ibu Bapak. This is very interesting to practice in a classroom. Ayo Ibu Bapak. Ayo.
We just be quiet and leave them about 2 or 3 minutes and let's see how.
Yeah. I'm ready to write. If one of you may try. Come on. Participants, students, and lecturers here. Okay. Kita tunggu 1 menit lagi.
Okay, Bu Winda, this is already in the text box.
Oh yeah, chat room.
Yeah.
Good.
This is from Anna Tambunan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I traveled through albums and item box. Okay, saya ngambil paragraf pertama dari Pak Wawan. Pak Wawan Eko Yulianto. Wawan Eko Yulianto mahasiswa apa ini?
That's our colleague from
wow, thank you Pak
University.
for your participation today. Thank you.
Welcome, Pak Wawan.
Thank you. I come from an old photo from the colonial era. Most people forgot me already. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you. Kita kembali ke chart berikutnya. Okay, we have the chart. Good. Yeah. Bu Anna, I traveled through albums and then boxes, and a young girl discovered me and called me with her phone. Okay. Ya, saya copy paste ya.
So funny, Wawan.
Ya, dan exercise. Oh, ini bu ini ya.
Come on, guys, write as many as you can on chat box.
Okay.
Kita kasih hadiah apa
Jangan
nih, Bu
khawatir
Indah?
dengan poetic language. Mem, saya nggak poetic banget, mem. It's okay. It's in the process, yeah. So by reading a lot of, poetry from other creative works, you can establish your creative skills. You can establish your poetic technique. So don't worry about that. Okay. Another one. Nice. Thank you, Anna. I come from Medan and I grew up in Medan as well. I live in a big house with my little happy family. I used to do course every morning before going to school. Yeah, I might have traveled to Danau Toba. Okay. Yeah, saya tulis saja. So this is your first draft. Ini baru draft pertama. Nah, dengan creative reading, ya, dengan editing itu bisa gitu loh. Good, nice. Yeah, thank you very much for your participation, Pak Wawan and Bu Ana. And another, possibilities to conduct creative writing activities.
Okay.
I did it
Ibu
with my
Winda,
students.
your time is almost up.
Yes,
2 minutes remaining.
Yes, just 1 minute. Exploring wayang. Yeah. You can ask your students to compose haiku. Yeah. You draft, they draft, you revise the draft, and the two following week, you can ask them to translate this. So they're doing self-translation as a creative writing as well. Okay. And again, this is the conclusion and the references. I think I'm done for today. Yeah. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Ibu Winda. This is a very insightful presentation. Yeah, I get new idea now regarding to the creative writing relations to academic writing. Okay, so that all participants, ladies and gentlemen, Ibu Winda has already explored what does it mean with creative writing, how then the creations of writing practice as a research, and then has already elaborated about the topic, methodology, discussions, and also the findings. And then we come to the new understanding that the academic writing simply creative writing that's right falls beyond the technical journalism or academic writing, but then the creative writing could be regarded as an instrument for sharpening students in reading literatures particularly. So that from the presentations, I do hope that all participants, either the lecturers or the students, try starting making a productions, because in this digital age, we're not only provided to become a consumer only, but we are suggested to become a producers. Okay, right then, thank you very much, Ibu Winda Setiasari, PhD, for presentation. And then now we're coming to the second presenters. Here with us, Bapak Muhammad Supardi, the PhD candidate. He is the lecturers of UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, majoring English in the Department of English Literatures, here with me and also with Ibu Hasnul. And then for the academic history, she's now taking the doctoral degree in applied English linguistics at Unika Atmajaya Indonesia, and then for the magister degree in applied linguistics Jakarta State University, and of course for the start award degree in English language and literatures UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta. And then also she has a great of experiences as translators and also the interpreter Ministry of Religious Affairs of Indonesia from the 2015 until now. So that this is a great that he focused on the translation and also have joined in the Ministry of Religious Affairs of Indonesia to become a translator and also interpreter. And then also he has already joined in a seminar and conference either as a participants or the presenters. And then also the list of publications. And then I would like to say congratulations to Pak Supardi because he has already recent publications in International Journal of Linguistic Literatures and Translations in London, UK. So with the title Utilizing Translations Equivalence and J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter's in the Phoenix New Order. Okay, this is the news one in international publications. And then also in the same years, actually, Pak Padi has publications with the same equivalence levels of literary corpus translations using a peer-aware analysis toolkit. This is published in Alturas, Sintatu. And then in 2019, he has already made publications about the audiovisual translations, techniques, subtitling, and dubbing of movie soundtrack in a frozen movie. Okay, then there's a lot of publications that I couldn't mention by one, but actually Pak Supardi is really concerned about the translations, and then the focus on many things that investigating the what is it, the books or any material that relate to the translations, and then he has becoming concerns with the metaphorical study. Okay, so that without further ado, I would like to please Bapak Muhammad Supardi, PhD candidate, so to deliver your speech. You have 20 minutes to deliver the presentations. Microphone is yours, Pak Supardi.
Okay, thank you, Bu Ida. Let me share my own slide.
Ya, silakan Pak Padi.
Okay, can you see the slide? Can you see my slide, Ibu Ida?
Yes, clearly. Oh, ini siapa
Let's
ini?
see super live Pak Supardi.
Huh?
Okay.
Can you see the slide?
Yeah.
Ya.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Ida, Rosida, and Ibu Hasnul for inviting me to this workshop. Yeah, and to Ibu Winda, I'm glad to know here. I mean to meet here. Yeah. This is for our second meeting. Yeah. In the
Yes, second meeting, ya Pak. Yeah. It's really nice to see you again, Bapak.
Yeah, nice to see you too, Ibu Winda. Yeah. Okay, I think we have already learned many things from Ibu Winda's presentations about the creative writing. But for me here, because my concerns, it's about the translations. Yeah, this is my background of knowledge. Yeah, so that I'd like to combine the creative writing with the literary translations. I don't know, during this semester, I don't know, for the last 2 or 3 semesters, I didn't find any more literary translations. Even though this is really, really challenging and important actually, but I don't know why. Okay, let me go into the first slide. I'd like to begin my presentations from the literary translation first. Yeah, I mean from the definitions, because there are a lot of definitions that are defined by the scholars or by the even by the I think the service providers, yeah, from the advertisements about the literary translations. But I collected these, what is it, definitions from any sources, yeah. I think there are four definitions that can represent the literary translation definitions here in order to bring us to be in the same boat. This is important because if we, what is it, do not begin from the definition, we might have a different perspective about the literary translations. So here, the lenders, as we can see here, emphasize on the subjectivity of the interpretations of the source language message. In terms of the fluency, accuracy, register, flexibility, feeling, for style, and appreciations of nuance and transparency. And then the Susan Basnet and Leverfair, I think different emphasizement. They emphasize on the possibility change of the foreign image, yeah. And then the others, for example, Newmark is also one of the most scholars in translations referred by the, what is it, literary translators, yeah. Is reacting against a stiff and literary style, more natural, more colloquial, more easy, more relaxed, and than the original. And then I also quote the Indonesian version. I quoted this from the Ikra Negara's cited by Ibu Melanie Budianta in Jurnal Kalam. Yeah. Dan strategi intertekstualitas untuk mengolah teks sumber menjadi teks miliknya sendiri. So that's literary translations become, I think, necessary to be adopted, ya. Karena betapa mustahilnya menghadirkan kembali keaslian dan bagaimana teks asli melawan dirinya sendiri sekaligus membuka kemungkinan makna bagi suatu penerjemahan. So among of these four definitions, I think we can conclude that they actually, literary translations demands the translator to be more flexible and then prioritizing on the target language, yeah, on the translation, on the reader's target cultures, yeah. Okay, and then why do literary translations? These are among of the goals actually that we can get from the literary translations: to promote shared values, a creative process, to revitalize and regenerate literary sources, to offer the best reading experience, to expand the potential readership of literary work, to contribute to economic growth and new markets, to gain a prestige, long-lasting relationship, and give access to a different words. I'm sure that there are still many other goals that we can achieve, yeah, from literary translations. But I think these 6 goals might represents the other goals, yeah. So in general, that literary translations might give a new insight for the readers, yeah. So that there will be so many different perspective between the source and the target language. And then think of translation as a creative process. So in here, a translation or literary translations, as also categorized into secondary writing, because we translate from others' work. Yeah, we have to think that the translation also as a creative process. So in here, the literary translation discuss the link between translation and creative writing from the linguistic, cultural, and critical perspective. And creative writing is a form of writing where creativity is using imagination, sense, emotions, and innovations. And a good translation open new doors and offer a new perspective. So this, what is it? I think this is another tip or suggestion from the Mark Polizzotti, the American translator and author, how to combine between the translation and creative writing. So we have to think that translation can be categorized or can be mixed with the creative process. And then translations and creativity will lead into the transcreations. So in here, both of literary translation and creative writings have something in common, yeah, that are leading into the new hybridity, yeah, a new transcreation. So literary translation and creative writing actually will lead into the, what is it, the creations, yeah, transcreations. Yeah, for example, here we can say, we can see A Boy Named Sue by John Cash, probably, what is it, translated, or I think this is also mentions in the Remy Silado's novel Anak Laki-laki Bernama Kartini, or Anak Laki-lelaki Bernama Martini, Dul Sumbang. So these are the types of transcreations that we can create from the literary translations, combining with our own creativities. Yeah. So in here, the idea is how the, what is it, the imaginative process, and then the, what is it, the equivalence of target culture, yeah, can accept the name of Sue, because Indonesian people might not familiar to say Sue, yeah. No, Sue, I don't know. This is actually maybe familiar for the Koreans or Chinese, but not for Indonesians. Yeah, we Indonesian people might be more familiar to say Kartini or Martini, but the idea here is that a boy named Sue means that this is a little, I mean, then to infer that the boy is like a girlish, yeah, boyish, yeah, or not girlish. Yeah. So that is why Anak Lelaki Bernama Kartini. I think this the creativity from the translator, even though this is not really Abdul Sumbang, for example, not really translate from the Sue, but I think it might give an experience for the audience, yeah, or for you to have more creative writing in literary translations. Yeah, for example, the sunset beyond the trees, the matahari terbenam di balik pepohonan. So this is an ordinary translation or faithful translations. In order to make it more creative and then more natural, more acceptable and readable for the target readers, and then we can what is it, change the, you know, the ordinary word into a more metaphoric functions. Ya, matahari bersembunyi di balik dedaunan, matahari jatuh ke dalam pelukan sang malam. I think this sentence or this expression might give more aesthetic values, more what is it, the metaphoric, the luxurious functions may work in this rather than matahari terbenam di balik pepohonan. I think this what the literary translations want from the translator in order to provide the imaginative imagery and then the, what is it, the emotive functions. And then another example, every cloud has silver lining. Setiap awan memiliki garis perak. Di balik cobaan pasti ada hikmahnya. Habis gelap terbilah terang. I think this is can be categorized in literary translations theory into an adaptations. But in the modern, I think in this recent years, many people consider that this is a transcreation, just like awake for morning in the bowel of night by Edward Fitzgerald, for example, can be translated into a kubah malam, which is not really translations of bowel at night, as well as the dislike his balding head, benci sama penipisan rambutnya. So this is not really translation, but this is a creativity in translation. And then we can find a lot of creativity in translation. Let's say in the economic term, we can find the automatic telemedicine into anjungan tunai mandiri. Actually, this is not really a translation, but this is a transcreation. And then the MRT, for example, massive rapid transportation, moda transportasi umum. And then in terms of the technology, software, and as well as the applications, we find so many creativities in translation which cannot be understood literally, but the translator can create their own terms. That's what the idea of the creativity. And then another, I think this is one of the ways or the technique how to create, how to become a creative translator in translating a poetry, is that by changing the rhyme metaphor. I adopted this I quoted from the Alice Adventures in Wonderland, translated by Eliza Fitri Handayani, for example. In the in the red color here, the source language say, but you might catch a bat, but do cats eat bats? Do cats eat bats? Do cats eat bats? And then the translator changed the metaphorical expressions in order to preserve the rhyming functions from the source language, even though this is not ended by the at, but here the translator create the rhyme metaphor into a tahu siapa tahu ada keong, tapi siapa tahu ada keong, tapi apa meong mau makan keong, meong mau makan keong, keong makan meong. So this actually really different. So here bats is translated into keong, and then cats is not in order to elicit the rhyme, and then the translator choose the dictions into kucing as a male. So this is types of metonymic functions, as well as the in Newman, metonymic personifications and similar and other figurative speech can be categorized into a metaphor. So this is one of the way how to do the creativities in translations, literary translations. And then the next, we can also do our translations creatively by changing the moods. I took this from one of the workshops that I joined several years ago, conducted by the American ambassador, and then I am one of the participants who won the door prize at the times. So here the translator might change the moods. As we can see here, the mood in the source language, the poems here showing about the depressing moods or angry. The mood of I was angry and mad, and it seemed that there was hot water inside me, and as I got madder and madder. So in here, the translator might change the mood into the cheerful moods, from the angry into happy, aku riang dan gembira, and it seemed that there was hot water inside me, dan nampaknya ada air yang dingin mengalir dalam dada ini. So you can change the bad mood into the good mood. You can change from the negative into a positive. That's the way how to be more creative in translations. And then Newmark says in his book, this can be categorized as adaptation. And then the next academicians, or probably the non-academicians, say our categorizes into a transcreations. Yeah. And then we can also see here from the, changing point of view and style. For example, we can see from the Khairil Anwar's poems, yeah, which is accused. Yeah, many. I think some literature say that Khairil Anwar Kerawang Bekasi is what is it? Khairil Anwar poem is adopted or translated from or inspired from the Archibald Macleigh's poem, "The young dead soldiers do not speak." But here, Khairil Anwar changed the points of view and the style from they into kami, yeah, and then the what is it? The interrogative sentence into what is it? Yeah, or sometimes integrative, sometimes not. And then the densities of the Khairil Anwar points is more than the line number. And then some scholars say that Khairil Anwar actually do not translate the Kerawang Bekasi from the Young Dead Sur, but only in inspirations. Even though Marshall Einstein in his book Pengantar Teori Sastra said that Kerawang Bekasi by Khairil Anwar is actually adopted, yeah, or translated from the Young Dead Soldiers. So this is one of the changing point of view and style that we can imitate in translations. And then the example that I quote from the short stories, South of the Slot, and I translate by myself here. I also translated several short stories, collected short stories are the best short stories, the best 10 best American short stories. And then one of the translation is the South of the Slot. So in here, developing structure, characters, plots, and the language, and many more. Yeah, as we can see here, the source language. I think the number of the sentence is less than the target language, because I myself try to develop the structure, the character, and the plots here, so that the translation might seem more more than the number, the sentence, because I develop the structure, character, and the plot. Let's say, for example, Old San Francisco, which is the San Francisco of only the other day, the day before the earthquake, was divided midway by the slot. And then in the target language, it takes for about 5 to 6 sentences to translate these two sentences. Yeah? So these two sentences. Yeah. San Francisco tua yang sampai saat ini terus bersolek mempercantik diri menjadi sebuah kota anggun dan indah yang memukau dan mencuri perhatian dunia, yang sekarang lebih dikenal dengan sebutan kota Lu. Sebelum peristiwa gempa datang menerjang, memporak-porandakan San Francisco dengan tanah, sempat terbelah menjadi dua bagian oleh kehadiran sosok Slow. In here, I try to develop the figurative language, yeah, through the metaphoric expression, through the metonymic function, as well as the personification, even though in the source language doesn't tell us about the, only Old Francisco, which is the San Francisco, or only, this is really ordinary, yeah. But I try to make it more enlivened in the target language by developing the figurative language through metaphoric expression and the metonymic functions. And then, is poetry translatable? Yeah, there are several opinions that I quote from Jacobson's, Ezra Pons, Dryden, Robert Frost, and Paul Very here, that poetry is by definition is untranslatable. Only creative transposition is possible. Where poetry is concerned, fidelity to meaning is alone betrayal. Practically impossible. Literary translation, poem, yeah, or poetry, practically impossible to transfer or to translate it from one language to another. And then no man is capable of translating poetry. He must be a true poet. According to Robert Frost, poetry is what gets lost in translation. So the idea from these five scholars, yeah, from five poets here, that poetry is impossible to translate. So there will be meaning loss. Yeah. So there will be destructions. Yeah, in terms of meaning, in terms of structure, in terms of culture, in terms of linguistic expression and extra, because we are different and everything. So that's why they say that it is impossible, except he must be a true poet. So here,
Pak Pardi,
yes?
3 minutes remaining, Pak Pardi.
Oh,
3 minutes remaining.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think this is one of the example that the success translation by Hairil Anwar, translated from John Catford, Huesca, yeah, because time is very limited, so I have to skip this, yeah. So this is one of the lost and found in translations that might frequently happens, yeah. Even though we lost anjing yang a barking dog never bite, anjing yang menggonggong tidak pernah menggigit, semantically, or we can say that the meaning has been transferred into the target language, but this is lost in terms of culture. That's what mean lost in translation. So the poetry lost in translation might lost in terms of culture, might lost in terms of meaning, and then it can be found when we translate a barking dog never bites into air beriak tanda tak dalam, tong kosong nyaring bunyinya, yeah, and so on. So that's the in order to accomplish the idea of lost and found in translations, in poetry translations. So translated fiction can be more popular than the original. I think this can be an idea. It is in lining with the Ibu Winda's idea that we have to encourage the lecturer, or especially for the departments, Bu Hasnul, to I think to enliven, yeah, or even to establish the literary translation center, because there are so many novels or literary works that need to be translated from the other language, yeah. And then the best-selling translated in titles, yeah, for example, based on this website that translated fiction sell better in the UK than English fiction research. Yeah, I took this several days ago from the website, but actually this news has been for about 5 years ago. Yeah. Okay, and then I tried to quote the expressions from Pharrell Williams, Scott Adams, and Keith Durant. There is nothing new under the sun, but there is always room to create. An intuition doesn't necessarily come from under the sun. It comes from within. Just like Bu Winda said, creative writer has to explore their own creativity, their own sensitivity and imaginations. So creativity is allowing yourselves to make mistakes. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. I think that's all. My presentations. Ibu Ida.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Supardi. Okay, right then. Okay. Thank you very much, Pak Supardi. It's such great presentations regarding the creative writing in literature translations. Pak Supardi, you may stop screen, stop sharing.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Miss Ida. Ini some
Yeah.
participants asking us to ask Miss Winda to read
Mhm.
her own poem.
Okay, right then. After this, ma'am. Okay, we go back to in discussions. Okay, Pak Supardi has already explored many ideas regarding the creative writing and also literary translations. And then here I highlight 2 points, which is very interesting and then insightful. Why then we do literary translations is just because the first thing that I highlight is to promote the shared values and in creative process, and then to revitalize and regenerate literary resource. And also the most important thing in this age, this is to contribute to economic growth and the new markets. Yeah, maybe Pak Supardi will join in any workshop how that this we contribute in the translations and the academic writing for a new growth of economic and also for new markets. Particularly in English Literature Department, we may have such productions right then. And then the second one is about the translation study as the creative process, in which we can say that literary translation as a mean of creativity, which is linked to the translations as the creative writing from linguistic cultures and also critical perspective, which is the criticals or the creative writings is not only focused on how the writers use the imaginations, but how then they also can use their critical understanding, their critical perspective on a certain theme. And then the creative writing, this is also written in visuals and emotional impact, which also bring any kinds of sense from its reader. And then the translations here could be open a new perspective regarding to what is it in relations to maybe political, any aspects of life, including politicals, economics, religions, cultures, and this kinds of things. Okay, right then, Pak Supardi, thank you very much for your insightful presentations. And then now we are coming for answer and question session, questions and answer sessions. So I invite all participants here to ask questions, to raise questions, and also one request from the participant for Ibu Winda. Ibu Winda, you may read a poem for all participants, and then we can enjoy your live performance here. Okay, right, but maybe this is first request who has no Isani or also the participant. So I would like to please Ibu Winda, and we are willing to listen to your great performance. Right
Wow.
then.
Yeah, sorry for changing the setting. You know, I'm in the front yard of my son's school. I don't know. This is okay. Yeah. I thought I was just presenting, but then reading poem. That's okay. I choose, and then thank God I bring my laptop with me. I choose one of the poem I wrote in 2014. Yeah, it was 8 years ago. But then I translate this poem into English only a couple years ago. Yeah, I hope later on I can conduct a collaborative research with Pak Supardi. Yeah, I would like to learn a lot about the literary translation. Yeah, this
Sure,
poem,
Ibu Winda.
yeah, Pak. This poem entitled Surat untuk Seorang Sahabat. I visited Cambridge in 2009. I spent 2 months there. And then after 4 years, I'm thinking about going back, but somehow I was stranded in Manchester. Yeah. Saya bacakan 2 versi karena ini sangat sangat berhubungan dengan dengan topiknya Pak Supardi. Surat untuk seorang sahabat. Kunjungan pertama ke Cambridge. Di antara gemelutuk ibu jari, ku menjemput pagi di Heathrow. Sapaan manja klakson si merah, gagah mengajakku menuju London. Lalu kau suguhkan nikmatnya secangkir Costa, membunuh beku, diamku, dan dinginku. Sembari berucap, santai friend, dia tidak akan singgah ke kotamu. Menyusuli Hill Road yang sepi, Cambridge seolah tak berpenghuni. Gemerincing roda travel bagku, temani bunyi lonceng sang gereja tua. Fish and chip, university store, thick English. Kau penuhi genderang telingaku dengan biasnya frase-frase yang tak kupahami. Tidakkah kau rindu kawan? Ujarmu pada nyanyian Raven yang memecah malam. Rasakan lagi hembusan angin musim panas, ditingkahi gerimis mengundang. Baui aroma Thai food yang malu-malu menyeruak di marketplace. Menatap angkuhnya King College dari tepian sungai Cambridge. Ayuhkan sauhmu sekali lagi, jelangi mimpi. Teriakanmu menghujam sampai ke ulu hati. Kawan, kan ku tenggerai gelap jiwaku, kan ku sempurnakan pertahanan hidupku, lalu aku akan pergi menemuimu. Itu dia versi bahasa Indonesianya. Saya akan membaca versi bahasa Inggrisnya yang saya mengalami itu 4 kali revisi Pak Supardi. Ya. I clutched my frozen. Saya kehilangan ini ya teksnya ya, thumbs. And witnessed the morning dew, hugging Heathrow softly, heading to London. The old red blew its horn. A cup of hot Costa. The melting cold and silenced. While you smiled and said, calm down, friend. Cambridge is in another direction. Invading the quiet hill street, I capture unoccupied Cambridge. Listened. The broken wheel of my suitcase accompanied the jingling belt from the old church. Thick English, fish and chip, and university store were too foreign in my ears, sweetly squeezing in my tongue. Okay. Selanjutnya saya kehilangannya. Sampai situ aja deh translationnya. Saya mau Pak Supardi nanti itu memberi komentar pada puisi yang sudah saya translate.
Great applause.
Masya Allah.
Thank you.
Wow, that's
That's great, Bu
brilliant.
Winda.
Masya Allah.
Sama-sama.
Thanks, Bu Winda. Okay, then, ladies and gentlemen, please raise your questions for our true speakers in relations to creative writing and also in literary translations. So, is there any questions from participant?
Come on guys, dapat bintang, dapat A yang nanya.
Aslu, iya, dapat bintang, dapat yang nanya ya, A ya.
Ayo cepatan ditunggu nih.
Okay, please, participants. Or maybe the student of UIN Jakarta has already produced your own creations, either this is poems, short story, or even a novels. So you can share your ideas here. Or if you still have questions how to finish that, yeah, we have Ibu Winda here, the expert on its academic, on its creative writing. So please use this moment to enlarge and broaden your understanding on how to engage with creative writing.
I think I saw one question, Bu Ida, from the chat room. Yeah. Okay. Can I answer it, Bu Ida?
Yes, yes, of course, Ibu Winda.
Yeah. This is a question from my college. Yeah, Bu Anna is asking, no rigid format in creative writing, right? Yes, you are so right, Ibu. Yeah, you are so right. My presentation, shows that no rigid format, but in creative writing final project, yeah, basically there should be two elements in the final project. The one is these, the essay, reflective essay, yeah, clarifying your process. And another one is the final product of your creation. And if you have notes with during your supervision, you can put it in your index so people can see the process of your creation. Yeah, so basically there are two chapter that you should put in your creative writing project. One is the about processed, and one is the final product. Okay. And Ana nambah, any certain procedure for thesis when the topic is dealing with creative? Yes, as what I'm telling you in my PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, if you choose paper or if you choose monograph, there's a certain procedure there. Yeah, some series of activity like pre-reading, creative reading, set your topic, your draft, first draft, editing, and post working, post writing. It's in my PowerPoint. Perhaps Bu Ida later on can share it with the audience. Will you please, Bu Ida? Okay, itu saja. Thank you very much, Bu Anna. Pak Sapadi maybe can add my explanation.
Okay, right then. Thanks for the question and also answer from Ibu Winda. Okay, we still invite the participants to deliver the questions regarding this topic, this workshop. So we still have time. Yeah, we will finish at 12 p.m. So we still have time. Okay, so please participants raise the questions. Maybe Bu Winda, if the student want to start making their productions in creative writing, what kinds of steps that should take?
What kind?
What kinds of steps?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Reading. Yeah.
Reading.
I suggest you to read a lot. Yeah. You set your topic. Of course, yeah. Ma'am, I'm interested in writing the autobiography of my grandfather. Yeah, who knows? Okay, and but what element? I'm using poetry. I'm using haiku. Or ma'am, I'm interested in exploring the cultures of Sunda. Yeah, or one traditions, traditional tradition in Sundanese. Yeah, in Sundanese people society, and why not? Why not? So genre-nya apa kamu mau? Saya tertarik pada menulis short prose, ma'am. Okay, bisa? Why not? Jadi apa yang akan saya lakukan, ma'am? Creative reading, baca dulu. Yang pertama, yang tadi saya bilang itu karya-karya sastra yang berhubungan dengan short prose. Yang kedua, teori dari budaya, teori cultures, and then the theory of creative writing, of course, and post-colonial literature. Jadi saya memberi strongly suggest that you should start from reading creatively. So you can reflect from other writers. Bisa berefleksi dari penulis-penulis lain. And you can start your first draft. Yang saya perlu tekankan di sini adalah pembimbing ya plays a very important roles in the production. Tidak hanya sebagai editor, tapi juga sebagai providing the facilitator for your creative product ya. Mungkin Bu Asno ketika sudah mulai program ini, Bu Asno mungkin bisa mengajak beberapa dosen yang expertise-nya di dalam menulis creative writing. Jadi kita butuh 2 orang gitu untuk validasi karya-karya mahasiswa kita gitu. Jadi step yang pertama itu.
That is the problem, Miss Winda. You know, we are very limited expertise, not like you. I think that you are very important now in Indonesia because not many creative writing lecturer.
Setuju. Totally agree.
No, it's pretty flattery. No, okay, itu dia ya Bu Ida.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih Bu Winda. Okay, then we still have time actually. 12 minutes to go. So maybe you have questions for Pak Supardi. This is very interesting because he focused on literary translations, in regarding to the metaphor translations. Okay, so maybe ada mahasiswa yang tertarik mengkaji translations atau dari semua partisipan yang sedang melakukan penelitian dalam bidang translation study bisa bertanya. Kita ada narasumber yang expert di bidangnya, silakan. Oke.
Dua ini cocok banget nih, Mr. Supardi and Miss Winda.
Ya. Next project kan joint collaboration research ya.
Iya. Ide bagus banget tuh saya sama Pak Supardi ya Pak. Nanti kita ngerjain literary translation project Pak.
Boleh Bu.
Ya, silakan.
Kita nanti cari topiknya.
Is there any questions from participants? Okay, here is the questions. Pak Pardi, you can see that also in the chat box. I want to ask Pak Supardi, do you have any specific tips or advice for getting started as a freelance translator, while the job requirements as a freelance translator are that you have graduated from college or bachelor degree? Maksudnya startawan degree ya. Thank you. Silakan Pak Pardi, ini ada yang bertanya dari Feni Rabiha.
Okay, wait. Do you have any specific tip or advice getting started as freelance translator? I think what you can do in translations is that translate the text as many as possible, as much as possible, as well as you can, and then you can show to the companies or the employer that you want to work for, because freelance translator, there is no need for a specific time and place, so you are free to show your translation as a freelance, as a freelancer. And then if the question is, while the job requirement as a freelance translator are that you have graduated from college or bachelor's degree. I think I can give you a suggestion for translating a literary text. You have to explore your own imagination, your own sensitivity. So in here, in literary translations, you should activate. You should activate your own emotion, your own sensitivities, and then your own feeling. Because when you are activating your own emotion, your imaginations, and then your own feeling, then everything will be in the state of creative. So you will feel that you can see something that others cannot see, or you can see something which is invisible for others. When you are activating all your five senses, your feeling, your imagination. So you will find the how you can visualize the mountain you ever visited, how you can hear something you ever heard long time ago when you were in the very unforgettable moment, for example. Everything is recalled into your own sensitivity. That's what the creative process begins. And then what is it? You may wonder when you can write in the state of depression, in the state of transcendence, yeah, because when you are activating all your energy, all your imagination, because this is the tool. I think the most important thing in translating literary works, yeah, especially for the creative writer, in order to be more creative, we have to activate all the sense, all the emotion, all the emotive, yeah, emotional feeling, and then you will feel something new in your lives. So you may begin to find the word that you never think before, because you were in the street, in the conditions out of this spiritual human being, or maybe you are in the transcendence with the, you know, which is beyond your imaginations. Yeah, so that's the creativity might work when you are activating. So you have to activate your sense, your emotion, and your sensitivity. That's why there are so many imaginary media or tools that you can explore here: auditory, visual imagery, and then tactile, kinesthetic imagery, metaphoric, metonymic, personified. So you will, when you are in a state of trance, you may enliven the unliving thing into the non-living. So that is why there is no wonder when Ebit Giade say, kita tanyakan pada rumput yang bergoyang, and then you can talk to the wind. You may talk to the wall in your room while you are in the state of trance, in the state of what is it? Yeah, I think in the state of transcendence yeah, I think where you becomes a different human beings at the time when you are transcendence, or when you are activating your emotions and all your six sense, yeah, five sense, sorry. Yeah, I think that's what I can what is it, share what is important to do or to have to translate the literary translation in order to be more creative, not to translate literally, faithfully, or to translate semantically, where we can find so many laws in terms of culture, in terms of linguistic, the structure. So we might change everything from the source language into target language. Yeah. And then from Ibu Winda's just know the idea, when you are translating the local, think about the global. But for me, because my assumptions is that when we translating from the English, where it is from the international language, we have to translate into a more local color, more local culture, more local, or we can say localizations. That's what you can do in literary translations combined with the creativity. So you have to explore your own creativity. Thank you, Ibu Uda.
Right then, actually, still two questions left. So Pak Supadi, what recent research topic on literary work translations for Strata 1 degree students? Maksudnya mungkin topik apa yang bisa dilakukan untuk translation study di kuliah S1? Kira-kira topiknya apa gitu?
Yeah, I think what is it? What Ibu Linda's present just now is how to make up our minds to find the right or the creative topic. So just also Bu Hasnul in her introductory speech say that he sometimes goes to the Green Canyons, to the mountains, to somewhere which is very new, in order to find the inspirations, in order to find the a new creative topic. So dealing with the translations activities or translations process, of course, the first thing that you have to do, all you have to do here is that read a lot of text, and then by reading, or you can explore reading the source language first, or you can do by comparing between the source language and target language. And when you will find the specific problems from your reading in terms of the linguistic, in terms of culture, in terms of the what is it, the theme itself, the gender aspect, the what is it about the, yeah, I think the global issues, yeah, and many more. So I think reading literature as much as possible is the key to what is it, to take you to have your own creative, I mean to find the new creativity and in making up your mind for the first time, yeah. But as I show you in my slide just now, there are certain technique to what is it, to translate creatively by changing the mood, by changing the points of view, style, structure, and it can be also found in many Shakespearean poem, for example, adapted into many languages, and then we can also from Ira Kurniawan, ya, Eka Kurniawan, Cantik Itu Luka, and then it's been translated into 82 languages all over the world, which can be translated into different style, different structure, different linguistic, and many more. Yeah.
Okay, right then, Pak Pardi,
Yeah,
now. Yeah, Pak Supardi. Yeah, thank you very much, Pak Supardi.
You're
As our
welcome,
time
Ibu.
is up, so ladies and gentlemen and all participants, we are now coming to the end of the workshop today. So I would like to invite again Ibu Hasnul Insani Johar, PhD, the head of English Literature Department, to give a closing remarks. Ibu Hasnul Insani.
Yeah, because it's really important workshop from the both speakers. I think it's the last 2 minutes is better to give chance for Ms. Winda to give closing statement, and Pak Supardi, please.
Okay, right then.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I'm still here. I would like to give 1 or 2 sentences only for the closing. Creative writing, yeah, has been marginalized, yeah, in Indonesian English department curriculum. Yeah, indeed it provides students skills, yeah, more than they're expected. So why not giving a chance? Why not giving only a little space for our student to explore? Why not giving a little space for our lectures to study more about teaching creative writing for the betterment of students' writing performance? Thank you very much.
Okay, right. Thank you, Ibu Winda. Dari Pak Supardi, maybe your closing statement, Pak Pardi.
Yeah, I think a short statement. Yeah, activate your imagination in order to be creative translator, creative writer, because the key element in literary success, yeah, in writing or in translating, is how to activate our imaginations, so that and as well as our sensitivity toward the environments. So the way how to activate and how to shape our sensitivities is by reading a lot, observing a lot. Maybe you can go somewhere, and then I think that's the my closing statement, Ibu Ida. Yeah.
Okay, right then. Thank you very much,
And
Pak
sorry.
Supardi.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a good idea for Ibu Hasno or for the English department or for the other faculties, for example, to establish, to encourage our students to
Yeah.
translate a lot of novel, a lot of through creativities. Yeah. Okay, thank
Insyaallah.
Okay, silakan Bu Hasnul, closing remarks.
Yeah, again, yeah, only one sentence or one sentence for you. Please reading a lot, traveling a lot, explore Europe. If you don't have time or money right now, you can explore Sunda Kelapa dari Sabang sampai Merauke, and then you create your own poem, yeah. So reading, and then traveling, and then writing. So good luck with your own creativity, and hopefully see you again next seminar and workshop, and especially for our friends from Lita and SI and all beyond Ciputat, beyond UIN Jakarta, you will join us again and share your knowledge too, so we can have more collaboration in the future. Thank you so much for your participants today, participation today, and maaf lahir batin ya. Thank you for the speaker, Miss Winda, Pak Supardi, Miss Ida, and all our behind the scene ya. Ini ada
Behind the
Gunawan,
scene.
ada Nurul Rizky, terus banyak ya student yang aktif-aktif ya, tapi juga writingnya juga hopefully more aktif. Oke, banyak maaf ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bu Hasnul. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have already finished our workshop today. Thank you very much for our great speaker, Ibu Winda Setiasari, PhD, and also Pak Muhammad Supardi, PhD candidate for this university. So that I would like to close the workshop by saying thank you very much.